Okay, here is the new spice that I've come up with. It is Runick Mermails, and you may have seen in my last video, I made a Runick Mermail deck, but this is much improved. We got some very spicy combos here. We're bringing back some old classics, and I'll show you in a minute what I mean. I'm just going to pan through the deck really quickly for anyone who wants to build it themselves. So there you go, that is the full deck list. Now in the extra deck here, we got Runick Wings, we got Moon in the Runick Wings, and Yugioh in the Runick Wings. We got 2 copies of Runick Fangs, DPE, we got a little Tatsunoko boy, and the classic Cupid Pitch coming back to combo again, and I'll show you the combos up next. Before I show you some gameplay, we got Prima Donna. This card is so good with the Runicks. You're always banishing stuff. That means Prima Donna is always going to have something to activate its effect to special from the deck. So Prima Donna definitely needed. White Aura Will, good inclusion. We got the Dragite to negate spells. Baron de Fleur, Supreme Sovereign, another card with great synergy. Runicks whenever they banish. Supreme Sovereign going to trigger. We got Abyss Dweller. This is part of a combo. I will show you. If you hold on a second, we got Abyss Lacia and we got Berte Anaconda. Alright, so next, I'm going to show you the combos, and then closer to the end of the video, I'll have gameplay. Check the description or scroll along the bottom to see where everything is. Alright, so let's get going. Alright, so here you go. So this combo, you need Deep Sea Diva and 2 differently named Runick spells. Any 2 doesn't matter. So here it goes. I'm going to show you the full combo. Let's start with Deep Sea Diva, and you've seen this before. You're going to fetch the Prince here. Now once you have Prince on field, the order is not that important. So we're going to just start with the Prince side, but you could actually use the Runick spells first. Order, that's not important. Let's activate Prince. Prince going to send Dragoons to the graveyard, and we're going to add Dragoons to hand. Dragoons in graveyard is going to search, and we're going to search for the Deep Sea Minstrel. Now Minstrel's going to take a peek at our opponent's hand. This is going to take a Nibiru, or if they don't have a Nibiru, a card that you don't care about, because we're going to be making them discard at random. So opponent has some interesting cards here. They have a Dark Hole. We want to make them discard that, of course. So let's take away his Gather the Mind. So that's the card that you're going to get back. Now Dragoons is going to activate in graveyard, and you're going to want to search for the Moulin Glacier. I already got him in hand, so instead of searching Moulin Glacier, I'm just going to search for another Diva, but you would search for the Moulin Glacier here. Alright, so now, so far, everything's normal, you're used to this. Here's where we start bringing in the Runick. So let's start with the Flashing Fire. Although you just, whatever, it doesn't matter, because all the Runick spells have this effect. Special summon a Runick from the extra deck. So we're going to special summon a Yugioh in the Runick Wings. And they have to go in the extra monster zone, so make sure you leave that free. This is going to activate. We're going to discard a card from our hand. It does not matter what we discard. We're just going to discard this Diva, and it's going to add the Runick Fountain. Okay, so now we're looking good. We got Deep Sea Diva, and we got our Yugioh Runick Wings. So what we're going to do here is we're going to make the Cupid Pitch. It's back to do more combos, and you got to make sure you summon this in the main monster zone. And in Cupid Pitch, you're going to increase the level. So let's increase the level with the Cupid Pitch. So it's level 6, and now we're going to activate the Runick Fountain. And what we're going to do here, once it's resolved, is we're going to activate Smiting, which is just our second Runick spell with a different name. And we're going to special summon another Runick monster, and this time we're going to get the Runick Gary. Gary is going to let us activate the Runick Fountain, and we're going to say yes here, and we're going to draw 2 cards. Shuffle these into the deck. Draw 2 cards. Order does not matter. So there you go, we got 2 more Runick spells. That's pretty good. So now we have a couple options. Now because we have a bunch of Runick spells, we could either go into a Supreme Sovereign, that if we activate a Runick spell, banish cards from our opponent's deck, that's going to trigger our Supreme Sovereign. But if you don't have any Runick spells in hand, or you want to do maybe a safer line, just go for the Baron de Fleur. It's pretty safe here. So we'll go for Baron de Fleur. We will put him in a main monster zone. And Cupid Pitch is going to activate, trigger. So we're going to let that resolve, and we are going to add a card. We are going to add the Creation Resonator. Now, because we control a level 10 Synchro, we can special summon this Creation Resonator. And at any point here, we can make them discard. So let's start with making them discard, but if you want, what you can do here is if you summon your Creation Resonator, Oh yeah, you gotta be careful. If you discarded a water monster to activate the effect of the Runick, then right now you're gonna have 5 waters in graveyard, so you gotta special summon your Moon Glacier now. If you didn't discard a water monster, you can use your Prince as a synchro material or as a link material with the Creation Resonator, and then you'll have your 5 waters in graveyard. So let's Moon Glacier. Just keep track of your water count in graveyard is all I'm saying. Make him discard 2. Got that Dark Hole, that's perfect. And now we can make a XE, or sorry, a synchro. If you have, you could do a level 4 synchro, or you can just make a Verte, go into DP. So we're just gonna go into Verte DP here. So we're gonna have Omni Negate with our Baron de Fleur, and we're gonna have a DP to pop. And if our opponent gets rid of our Moon Glacier, then we've already lost our next battle phase. So that is not going to matter. And there you go. This is a Runick board. So we used 1 card to Deep Sea Diva. We drew 2 cards back. And we got Omni Negate. We got Omni Negate, pop. And we discarded 2 cards from their hand. So we keep the board under control till our next turn. Pop some stuff. Once we get our battle phase back, get in for lethal. Alright, so that's combo number 1, Deep Sea Diva. It's going to be the easiest combo to get. When you draw Deep Sea Diva, you have so many Runicks in the deck, drawing 2 Runick spells, pretty common. So now let's go on to the next combo that's just going to use a Neptibus, the Atlantean Prince, and 2 Runick spells. Let's go. Alright, here you go. So this is going to be combo where you have Prince and 2 Runick spells in hand. Now we already have the field spell in this hand, but you're going to be able to search for the field spell with this combo. So I will just pretend that I don't have it. Let's activate Prince. We're going to send Dragoons to graveyard and add Dragoons to hand. Dragoons in graveyard is going to search for a Deep Sea Minstrel. Deep Sea Minstrel. Add to hand. Now we're going to activate, take a peek. Take a peek at the opponent's hand here. An opponent, you're just going to take a card that would interrupt you, or you take something you don't care about that you don't want to make them discard randomly. Alright, and Dragoon's going to activate, and now we're going to get a Lapis Dragon here. Lapis Dragon going to summon itself. Alright, there we go. Okay, so now this is where the Runicks come in. Let's activate the Golden Droplet. We're going to special summon a Runick monster. And we're going to summon the Runick Wings. Alright. Runick Wings is going to activate and discard a card to search for the field spell. So pretend we discarded something. We got the field spell in hand already. Let's activate the field spell. And now what we're going to do is special summon Deep Sea Prima Donna using the Lapis Dragon and the Runick Wings. And now you're going to see why we made our opponent banish a card from their hand, as well as letting us take a peek. We're going to use that banished card with our Deep Sea Prima Donna. Now from here, the combo is pretty much completely open-ended. We can make a level 2, a level 3, or a level 4 monster with this Runick spell, and Deep Sea Prima Donna can get any level 1 to 4 water monsters. So you could search all sorts of things, do all sorts of combos from here, but here's what I think is the best play to do. Let's start by activating Prima Donna, unbanish that card from their opponent's monster zone, or banish zone there, and what we're going to do is special summon a Dragoons. Yes. Now you gotta keep track of your monster count in the graveyard. If you discarded a water monster, you won't be able to do this line. You have to have discarded something that was not a water monster. So keep track of what you got in graveyard. So right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4 water monsters in graveyard. So this is gonna work. Let's activate the Freezing Curses. Special summon a good little boy here, the Runick Dog. And we're gonna draw 2 cards. Pot of Greed, just a little Pot of Greed action right now. Alright, we draw into Moon Glacier, which is pretty sweet. We were about to search him, but hey, you know what? Sometimes you don't need to search him. We'll still finish the combo, but what you do here is make an Abyss Dweller. And using your Abyss Dweller, you activate and detach the Atlantean Dragoons. By detaching Dragoons, you're going to get a search here for a Sea Serpent. Now, I was going to tell you to search for Moulin Glacia, but we already got him in hand, so we can search for anything else. Let's just search for Diva. And now you can make your opponent discard too, so let's just make our opponent discard some cards here. Get discarding. And now, depending on what you drew, you might be able to make another Runick, and then you could go into Baron de Fleur. But right now, we don't have that, so we could either make a Predaplant Verte Anaconda, or we could make an Adamantipator Risen Dragite. Now, keep in mind, we've seen their hand, so what we're probably going to want to do is maybe leave the Abyss Dweller, but what makes the most sense generically is make a Dragite to negate spell effects. And then we've already given up our battle phase by activating the Runicks, so what you do here is special summon a Verte Anaconda using your Moulin Glacia and our Abyss Dweller, because we've already given up our next battle phase. Doesn't matter if we give it up a second time, same battle phase. Now let's activate the Verte Anaconda, and we can't activate him because we got our Fusion Destiny in hand, so that would activate Fusion Destiny, make your DP, and there you go. That is a Prince combo. Just Prince, 2 Runick spells, you can do this, and you can see there are a lot of other lines you could have done. So there you go. Let me know in the comments what other combos you can come up with if there's a better end board than this, because discard 2, make a pop, make a negate, draw 2 cards is pretty good, but there's definitely other things you could get done with this sort of combo potential. Alright, so we are playing in the Duelist Cup because that is the way to get gems this month. And here is a pretty Runick heavy hand, and this is one of the combos I showed you. So opponent's going first. Activate an emergence. Let's see if we can get one of the combos off. Although going second, you're really going to have to react to what your opponent's up to. And our opponent is playing very nice Prismatic Sword Soul. Of course they had the pot. So when you ash something, they got something else, but this is fine. We got a very diverse Runick hand, and we should be able to deal with any board our opponent's about to make. Opponent is going into typical Sword Soul. If you like this deck, if you like this sort of combo, let me know down in the comments, and definitely subscribe to the channel because I'll be experimenting a lot with this and other decks. And like I said before, if you have combo tips or combo ideas, let me know. Let me know about the extra deck as well, because there's a lot of flexibility here, there's a lot of options, and I'm really interested to see what sort of stuff we can get out of this extra deck and out of this combination of cards. So opponent is just making typical Sword Soul board, probably a Blackout here, Supreme Sovereign, and a Grandmaster, so we're going to take advantage of the Runick cards. We have pretty much every Runick card, including the tip, which you can search for any other one. So what are we going to do here? Well, first we want to negate this Grandmaster, or pop this Grandmaster, sorry, so that Sword Soul Supreme Sovereign doesn't banish anything. We're going to play around this assuming it's a Blackout. So let's pop the Grandmaster. Opponent unfortunately has a Max C, and we do want to play around the Max C if possible. So we're going to use a Runick tip right now to summon a Runick Wings to the field. Maybe that's a mistake. Maybe I should just use this to search the field spell and not even bothered with the Runick Wings. Let me know if I'm misplaying. We're going to activate the Wings to search for the field spell, and opponent has an Effect Veiler, so we didn't need to do this in response, but we're going to do it now. Freezing Curses is going to negate the Supreme Sovereign. And we are going to summon the Prince here, send Dragoons to the graveyard, add Heavy Infantry to hand. Going to get a Deep Sea Diva here and go into the Verte Anaconda. Make the DPE. And this does play around Blackout. Because this boy's effect's negated, when he gets popped now, we're going to pop him and he's going to actually die. So he gets popped, we get DP back, we got Diva for next turn, and we're going to hopefully live. An opponent doesn't want to play anymore. Maybe they banished all their pieces and their hand was just hand traps. Who knows? But there you go. That is a pretty solid victory for the Runicks with Atlanteans. Let's go on to the next game. Now, I am showing these games in the order I played them, so don't complain. If you say I'm winning too much, hey, you know what? Deck's just that good. Deep Sea Diva going to summon Prince. We don't have any Runicks in hand, so we're just going to go the old-fashioned Atlantean way. Let's search for the Moulin Glacia, because we already got our Minstrel in hand. Take a peek at our opponent's hand here. Opponent is playing Skill Drain, Urgent Schedule, and Machina, so this is an interesting deck. Not something I've seen before. We're going to take the Overdrive. We're going to try and make him discard that Skill Drain. We get an extra search, so we're just going to search for Diva for follow-up. Go into Verte Anaconda, make the DPE after making our opponent discard 2 cards. Discarding the Urgent Schedule and the Uncle Sparse. Alright. Let's make the DPE. Set our Call by the Grave here. Luckily, opponent had 2 Unckless Sparses in hand, so we can Call by the Grave the one in the graveyard to also negate the one on field. Opponent gets their trap back. Let's see what they can do here. Summoning the Unckless Sparse. Let's negate with Called by. Stop his effect from activating. We don't want him foolish barreling a Machina monster to the graveyard. See what the opponent can do here. Now we know opponent has a trap and a skill drain. So at least 2 set back row I'm expecting here. Just 2 set back row, right? So DPE gonna pop. Pop 1. If opponent's smart, they'll activate the skill drain in the standby phase because we hit the overdrive. Opponent does not hit it though, and we hit Runick tip, so no matter what opponent did, we could have searched for the Runick spell that pops spell and traps, so we could have got through a skill drain. Opponent is gonna activate skill drain in response here. We're gonna pop with the DPE. DPE get popping. Before that skill drain resolves. There you go, alright, and we should get lethal here really easily. Prince is going to search for a heavy infantry, and with the Dragoons, we're going to search for a Bismegalo. Going to summon him, pop the face up on the field with the heavy infantry, tribute our Prince to get 2 attacks, and this is easy lethal. But you know what? We're here to flex on our opponent, so we're going to get an extra summon here. Get that Destiny Hero out here. Let's go to battle and get lethal damage. Attack directly. And we got more than we need here. Alright, very sweet. Let's go on to game 3. Alright. Now, only run Runick spell means we won't get to do one of the cool Runick combos, but we do get to Deep Sea Diva. And opponent has an Ash Blossom. A little unfortunate. Now, we can Runick Freezing Curses to make a Runick monster, but because we don't have a second Runick, we aren't going to be drawing any cards here. We're going to make the Runick Wings. We are going to discard Poseidra from hand here. Kind of wishing there was a level 1 Runick. And we're going to get that Runick Fountain. Just play it as a distraction to our opponent. Make the Verte, and hope the DP can save us. Not the ideal line here with a Deep Sea Diva, but it's better than nothing. Showing off how Runicks can try and recover you from a bad situation. So we'll set this DPE and pass to our opponent. Unfortunately, opponent has a Dark Ruin no more, so all our monster effects are negated, and it doesn't really matter what our opponent can do here because negated DPE is not going to be doing much. We're just going to activate him to stop him from asking us to activate himself. Opponent is doing Unchained things. Now, Unchained special summons using monster on field, so if DPE was active, we could have just popped DPE in response to an effect that would summon him, stealing him, but with that Dark Ruler no more, we're pretty much locked out of doing anything. Opponent is popping our field spell, and they are stealing our DPE. 2 fuse into the Unchained Soul. They're going to battle, hitting our Verte and passing to us, so not great. Now, we draw here a Runick Flashing Fire. So unfortunately, because we didn't, maybe we should have held on to this field spell. If we held it in hand, activating this Flashing Fire would let us draw 2 cards. So probably another misplay there. Flashing Fire going to activate, special summoning the level 4 Runick. We're going to make a Abyss Dweller. Opponent baited, trying to steal our Abyss Dweller. Activate in response, detach Dragoons. Dragoon's Search is going to activate. Old trick I picked up from Duel Links. They are going to Link Summon into an Unchained Soul, but we get a Search with Dragoons. Special summon a Lapis Dragon, and I made a big mistake here. Summoning that Lapis Dragon, we can make a level 8 Synchro, and my boy, the whale is missing. Alright, in my future deck list, the one that I showed you, Ravenous Cocker Dragon was replaced with a whale because Crocker Dragon, no help, but whale right now, whale would have popped their entire field, and if they try and pop the whale just resummons himself. Alright, so bit of a big mistake in the extra deck. We're just going to make Dragite, but it's going to be real easy for our opponent to get rid of that. This is more you know, flex on them, you know, hey, here's a Dragite, but they're going to steal Dragite, and they got easy lethal. Alright, no worries, let's go on to the next game. Alright, Deep Sea Diva plus Call By is definitely a great opening hand. No Runicks right now, but maybe we'll draw into them. Diva gonna summon Prince, and we're just gonna do classic Mermail things. Draw Diva. Get the Minstrel. Take a peek at our opponent's hand here. Opponent is playing Sword Soul. Now, with a hand like this, we're just gonna try our best. We got Ash Blossom to negate an Ecclesia, so I probably should have taken an Ecclesia out of their hand and left them with the Mo Yi, tried to discard Mo Yi. But we really want to hit these, all these cards. So we're gonna try and make them discard two, just see what happens. Moonling Glacier gonna activate, and we hit Emergence and Emergence. This is probably the best combination of cards we could have hit there. Let's make the Verte, get the DPE, and we're just gonna set our call by and pass to the opponent. We should be able to play through our opponent's Sword Soul hand here. They don't actually have a Worm or Sword Soul card in hand to activate Mo Yi, so they must have drawn one, revealing a Blackout. Okay, so we know their whole hand. DP gonna pop this Mo Yi before the token is activated to stop them from synchro summoning. And with token on field, they are locked into synchros, so they won't be able to do anything else. Opponent special summoning Ecclesia and activating. We have Ash Blossom to negate. And we know opponent has a Blackout. And their last card is another Ecclesia, so they are not willing to play it out. Not even going to try and pop our cards with a Blackout. Alright, opponent is done. Let's go on to the next game. Alright, one final game here with the Runick Mermails, and this is a very interesting hand. This is a Runick hand with not really much going on. A lot of our kind of in-deck bricks, but you know what? That's okay. Opponent is going first, and they're making adventure. So hopefully we'll get lucky. Runicks are pretty strong. We'll see if just Runicks on their own and some random monsters is good enough. Opponent making a Griffin Rider. Pretty classic adventure things. We'll see what else they're doing. Usually adventure supporting something else. Opponent revealing a Magician's Right Hand. Negate the effect of the first spell card that resolves each turn while you control a spellcaster or monster. Now this is an anti-Runick tech, if I've ever seen one. They do need to control a spellcaster monster though. So opponent activating this right hand, setting a card but no spellcaster. Alright, maybe this is a trap that summons a spellcaster, and here we are drawing into our Dasher. So we got all our bricks in hand, very nice little collection. Let's get going with the Runick. Try and pop, and opponent chooses not to negate with the Griffin Rider. Not sure why opponent let that resolve, because popping that token means that they cannot negate with the Griffin Rider, so pretty free from us. Let's get going. We're going to make the Wolf here, and normal summon the Creation Resonator just to go into a Prima Donna. Now, because opponent has two banished cards, because of the Runicks, we can activate Prima Donna here and summon any water monster from our deck or add it to our hand, level 4 or lower. So we could add a Deep Sea Diva here. We already normal summoned though. So let's just special summon a Prince to the field. Unfortunately, opponent has an Imperm, so that's okay. Prima Donna's defense is high enough that this Wandering Griffin Rider can't attack through it. If our opponent's hand is just bricks, maybe we can hold out for another turn. Call by the Rave set here. We did at least get rid of the Dracoback, so opponent won't be bouncing this to hand. Opponent seems like they have the Adventure Engine again. So they're going to make another token. They are turtling though. Alright, not that bad, not that bad here, and we draw another Freezing Curses, and this negates a monster effect, so this is a pretty good one to have. Let's activate Prima Donna again, and we're going to add a Deep Sea Diva to hand. Opponent going to try and negate. We're going to negate the negate. Now, we could also special summon Prince to field instead of fetching a Deep Sea Diva to hand, because if we special to field, we can just search a Diva and then normal summon it. So let's special that Prince to field here. Activate Prince, and you're going to see, like, there's a lot of lines and there's a lot of synergies. Prima Donna unbanishing cards, like, that's good. This is some good synergy. Let's search for the Deep Sea Diva. We still got our normal summon, so normal summon Diva here. Get the second copy of Prince. Already activated Prince this turn, so can't do it again. But we can Tatsunoko using the Poseidra we got to make Baron. Let's clear up this adventure package. Unfortunately, opponent has a Nibiru. A little sad, we got to use Bronze Negate right away. But better to have that negated than have a Meteor. Let's make a Verte. I thought about making a level 8 Synchro when I was playing this. I do have the Dragite or the White Aura Whale, but we are losing our next battle phase, so I figured DPE better so we can pop stuff. With losing our battle phase, let's get rid of that bricky hand and turn it into a Phoenix Enforcer. Get pop in our opponent's field, pop the token, and pop that Griffin Rider. We have figured out what our opponent's up to though. We banished some cards. We see a Witchcrafter, Schmetty. Schmetty giving up our opponent's strategy. They are playing Witchcrafters, and that explains the right hand. So we unbanished the Water Enchantress, so opponent can keep activating it, but without the Griffin Rider and without the Draco back, the adventure token's not a huge deal. And opponent, looks like that's all they got. So let's pop that token. Add the Destruction to hand. And we're gonna, because we use Bronze Negate, we're gonna unbanish Deep Sea Prima Donna. Prima Donna can unbanish the Water Enchantress to add a Diva to hand. Pretty sweet recursion there. And let's normal summon Diva, get another Prince. Prince gonna activate for the final time. We are out of materials in the deck to search for. Get a Dragoons, search for a Minstrel, and let's activate. Take a peek. We see our opponent's hand here, Witchcrafter Scroll, Unveiling, which special summons a Witchcrafter from hand, so this is a complete brick. Once per turn, when a spellcaster destroys, yeah, this is useless, and we already know about the Water Enchantress, so explains what opponent was doing. Dragoon's gonna activate, search for a Heavy Infantry, this will become clear in a second, and realizing here we should have summoned the DP in attack position. That is a huge mistake because we actually have lethal here, or we would have if DP was in attack mode. Baron de Fleur going out here, and Abyss Lisa gonna boost the attack points, and this was lethal. This was lethal by 100 damage. So we're just gonna deal some damage here and pass to the opponent. We got Call By, we got Runick Destruction set to pop a spell card. We got Heavy Infantry to pop a face up by discarding with Abyss Lacia, and obviously DPE and the Baron Negate. So we are feeling pretty safe. This is the card our opponent drew, Witchcrafter Creation, and add a Witchcrafter to hand. Let's just negate that. Do not want our opponent adding any mysterious cards to hand. We know our opponent's whole hand here now. They're gonna Water Enchantress, get another copy of the right from their graveyard now. So they're out of copies in the deck. Make another token, but they're not gonna be able to do anything to stop us now. Send some back row, let's just pop it. Pop with the DPE. Get it out of the way. And we got easy lethal here. DP coming back. Popping that monster with the Baron de Fleur. Let's attack for lethal. Good game, opponent, and showing off the power of Runicks and Mermails together. Definitely liking how this is playing. I think it's really strong, and hope you like it too. Alright, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Have a good night.